Hello, and welcome to Flame the Golden Eagle channel on YouTube.com. This is Anime Man 10 speaking, or if you're more familiar with my YouTube name, 10 Anime Man. Today, I will be starting the narrative series of my fanfic, Flame the Golden Eagle Origins. Bear in mind that this is the beginning of a series, so if you don't quite understand the story yet, don't worry, you will in the future. And also keep in mind that this was all done in one take, so excuse me if I stutter or if I mess up a word here and there. And also, down in the description, I'll be putting a link to the actual book, so you can read along, or just read by yourself if you want. And thank you for your time, and why don't we get this started? Okay, here we go. Flame the Golden Eagle, Origins, by Anime Man 10, Part 1. Prologue. A light is seen through the darkness. A figure is sitting alone in a pile of crumbling buildings. The figure is thinking to himself, "Night has fallen and the world is dark. Look around you, and you see all the destruction that has become of New Robotropolis. The dust still has not settled after that fateful night. Maybe I should recount what has happened to this world. It may give me some clarity. Then again, it may just give me more fear of what is to come." He gets up and walks away thinking to himself. In the darkness, he leaves streaks of light trailing from behind. Chapter 1. "Hurry up, Silver," whispered Blaze the cat, now at age 25. Her powers of speed and pyrokinesis have dwindled down because the soul emeralds have started to lose their power. She and Silver the Hedgehog, now at age 25 as well, were running for their lives from New Robotropolis, the city built by Dr. Eggman Nega. "Blaze, I know that we're in a rush, but do you think we can really trust this guy?" asked Silver. His coat has become a darker gray. His powers of psychokinetics have become more potent. There were patrol and swap bots everywhere. Silver stopped a missile from hitting Blaze. "Thanks, Silver. I know what you're thinking, but it seems that he is not at all like his father. He wants to join the resistance and help us throw down Nega. Now remember where we're going." "Sure, okay, I'll trust him for now, but if he turns on us, don't blame me." "Silver, if there is a way to make you trust him, I would do it, but there's no use right now." "Silver, look out, behind you!" Blaze pointed to a giant missile that was launched out by a SWAT bot. It was headed fast for Silver. "Thanks for the heads up, Blaze." Silver turned around as his body started to glow a greenish gray. He used psychokinesis to stop the missile. "Why don't you take it back?" Silver yelled as he threw the missile back to the SWAT bots. It hit them head on. The bots exploded in a fiery ball. Pieces of hot scrap metal fell on top of Silver and Blaze as they left the perimeter of New Robotropolis. Blaze was looking over his shoulder at all the destruction that Eggman Nega has done to Mobius. Blaze, thinking back to a time where they were just fighting Nega so that he wouldn't make any trouble on the world. But as time passed, Nega grew more powerful. His robots became more maniacal and deadly. Blaze knew that they were wasting their time trying to fight him, but they wanted to have a free Mobius in like days of old. Silver and Blaze ran a few miles away from New Robotropolis. Silver stopped in front of Blaze, turning a grayish green. He had found the door to their new hideout. Blaze turned her back to Silver while he was doing this. She looked up into the night sky, thinking about the war and all that it has done. She knew that if anything was going to go back to the way it was before Nega came to power, they had to hurry up and attack their plan ASAP. "Hurry up and get in here," said Silver, trying to hold open the way for Blaze. "Huh? Oh, sorry." Blaze ran in, waiting for Silver to close the entrance. Silver walked in, still glowing, and set the door down. "So what's on your mind?" asked Silver while Blaze was staring deep into the tunnel before them. They started to walk slowly down the corridor. The walls were lined with paintings. Paintings that were the only things left that showed a window into the past. when things were better. When Blaze spoke, she spoke quietly and slowly. Silver, you know the reason for us being in New Robotropolis was to try to take back the Soul Emeralds, but we failed miserably. Hopefully he can help us regain them. But that's going to be impossible, even for him. I'm not the same without the power of the Soul Emeralds. I can feel them losing power every day. I feel that they may even run out of power soon. Blaze trailed off in her speech as they turned down a corridor and walked down another. This time, the walls were covered with filth and decay, an exact image of how things are and how will continue to be if the freedom fighters aren't able to save Mobius. Silver knew what Blaze was thinking about. He just wanted to help her vent. Blaze, I understand your feelings, but do you think that he will really help us? I mean, his father is Dr. Eggman Nega after all. Silver, at least try to give him a chance. Fine, I will, but I'm keeping my guard up at all times. They turned down another corner and finished the rest of the walk back in silence. The walls here were bare of what things could and should come to be. They reached the end of the maze and walked into the heart of the underground resistance facility. They walked over to the design meeting hall. Silver opened the door for Blaze again, and they walked in together. Standing in the room stood a tall and thin person. His clothes were ripped and dirty, hanging in shreds around his stringy figure. This was Nega's son, Gerald Nega, named after Eggman Nega's grandfather, Gerald Robotnik. So, you decided to show up after all, huh? said Silver sarcastically. Thank you for deciding to join our efforts to take down your father, said Blaze as she shook Gerald's hand. Gerald looked up at Silver and Blaze, his eyes filled with fear and disgust. He was sweating profusely. His hands were cold and clammy. The look in his face said one thing: death. Even though his father was Nega, Gerald had grown spite towards him, causing Gerald to want to bring his father down. By the way that he looked, hair unkempt and greasy, face and body filthy, and smelly to boot, we could understand why he hated his father so much. Gerald started to pace around the room, thinking of where to begin. When he spoke, his voice was shivering. You know who I am, right? You know what I could do to you and your entire operation. But yet you trust me without any hesitation. There was a long pause. Then he spoke again. I am pleased that you are so trusting. Silver rolled his eyes at this comment, thinking, I don't trust you one bit. Blaze looked at Silver, and he looked back. They both knew what had to be asked. So, would you like to be of use to us, right? Well, tell me, what is your father up to? Why has he stolen the Soul Emeralds from us? And why can I feel that their powers are being drained? Blaze demanded. Gerald's eyes became dark with fear when Blaze asked him this question. He took his time before he answered. Well, by the way I look right now, should tell you that I am not well kept. Nega really never tells me anything. I just get pushed into my room every day, if you could call it a room. But I have ways of getting information from my servants. I have heard that he is working on a machine that is draining the powers of the Soul Emeralds so that he can use it to his will. But what is he going to use it for? Demanded Silver, now becoming very impatient. We have heard this story millions of times now. Oh, the outcome may be different, but the story's always the same. What's new, and how can we stop it? Silver, calm down and let him finish, said Blaze. Well, to tell you the truth, I don't know that much. Great, Silver butted in. Just how are you going to be any help of us if you don't know anything? Wait, shouted Gerald. There's more. I have found out that we are not alone in this. By this, I mean the cosmos. What do you mean by this? Asked Blaze, her curiosity now piqued. Well, there are others. Other people who fight just like us. but on a different plane of existence. Through my research in Nega's database, I have found out that the Mobius of today has been through more than its fair share of changes. You mean there's been more than Nega's tyranny over Mobius? Asked a very